The first thing most people notice about IKEA is the furniture. The second thing they notice is that they are somehow still inside the store hours later. They came looking for a lamp. They leave with a bookshelf, a set of glasses, a plant they never planned to buy, and a strange feeling that they just designed a better version of their life. But the strange thing about IKEA is not what happens at checkout. It is what happens before. Why do millions of people willingly walk through a giant maze, carry heavy boxes themselves, and spend an evening assembling something they could have bought ready-made somewhere else? Why does a product that requires more effort often create more loyalty? The answer is hidden in something deeper than furniture. IKEA mastered something many companies struggle to understand. People do not only buy objects. They buy stories, identities, and experiences. The story begins with a young Swedish entrepreneur who saw a problem hiding inside an ordinary industry. His name was Ingvar Kamprad. In 1943, at just 17 years old, Kamprad started IKEA as a mail-order business selling small household products. At first, IKEA was not a furniture company. It sold pens, wallets, watches, and everyday items. But Sweden was changing. More families wanted modern homes, yet good design remained expensive. The furniture industry had a problem. Beautiful design existed. Affordable furniture existed, but they rarely existed together. Kamprad believed they should. Traditional furniture companies built large pieces, shipped them assembled, and passed the cost of storage and transportation to customers. Kamprad questioned the entire system. Why transport furniture that was mostly empty space? Why should good design be reserved for people who could afford luxury? This thinking led IKEA toward one of its defining ideas: flat-pack furniture. Instead of delivering finished products, IKEA designed furniture that customers could transport and assemble themselves. It was efficient. It was cheaper. And at first, many people thought it was a terrible idea. Why would anyone want to build their own furniture? But IKEA discovered that the inconvenience was part of the experience. Furniture did not need to arrive finished. It could arrive as a possibility. A box could become a desk. A pile of wooden pieces could become a home. And that changed the relationship between customer and product. Psychologists later studied this idea and called it the IKEA Effect. When people contribute effort toward creating something, they often feel more connected to the result. A handmade object can feel more valuable than a perfect factory-made one because it carries personal investment. The value is not only in the object, it is in the experience attached to it. IKEA turned assembly into participation. The customer was no longer just buying furniture. They were becoming part of the process. But the psychology of IKEA begins before the box reaches your home. It starts the moment you enter the store. Most stores are designed to help you find something quickly. IKEA is designed to take you somewhere. You move through carefully created environments. A small apartment where every corner has a purpose. A kitchen that makes everyday life feel more organized. A workspace that looks like the beginning of a new career. A bedroom that represents a different version of yourself. The showroom is not simply displaying furniture. It is displaying possibilities. And that connects IKEA to one of the strongest forces behind human decisions: identity. People rarely buy things only because they need them. They buy things that represent who they want to become. Running shoes can represent discipline. A new desk can represent ambition. A notebook can represent becoming more organized. IKEA understands that a home is not just where people live. It is where they tell themselves a story about who they are. But this is where IKEA becomes more complicated. Its greatest strength is also its biggest contradiction. IKEA creates individuality through a highly standardized system. Millions of homes contain the same products, yet those products become personal through different spaces, memories, and meanings. The same bookshelf can represent the first apartment of one person and decades of family memories for another. The object may be identical, the story is not. IKEA's success also comes with criticism. The company saves money partly by asking customers to assemble products themselves. Its affordable designs have raised questions about durability, waste, and whether inexpensive furniture encourages people to replace things too quickly. But that tension reveals why IKEA is so interesting. It sells simplicity through a carefully engineered experience. It creates personal meaning through mass production. It gives people control through a system designed for millions. Because humans themselves are full of contradictions. We want convenience, but we also want accomplishment. We want things to be easier, but we want our achievements to feel earned. IKEA understood this. The greatest products are not always the ones that remove effort. Sometimes they are the ones that transform effort into meaning. A chair is not only wood and fabric. It may represent the first place someone lived alone. A desk is not only a surface. It may represent a career change or a dream being built. A bookshelf is not only storage. It may represent curiosity, ambition, or the person someone hopes to become. The object becomes connected to a chapter of life. And that explains the mystery we started with. Why would millions of people spend hours assembling furniture when they could simply buy something finished? Because they are not only building furniture, they are building a relationship with it. IKEA's greatest innovation was never just the flat pack box. It was understanding that humans do not simply consume objects. They create meaning around them. The things we work for often become the things we value most. Not because effort always creates quality, not because struggle is always necessary, but because participation changes our relationship with the world around us. The box on the floor is not just a collection of parts waiting to become a table. It is a reminder of something much larger. People do not only want to own things. They want to feel that they had a hand in creating the life those things represent. And the next time you find yourself tightening the final screw, remember, you were never just assembling furniture. You were experiencing one of the most successful psychological ideas ever put inside a cardboard box.